How did Premier become one of Georgia's largest and most successful HVAC companies? By providing fast, friendly, professional service. Did I say fast? Yep, fast. Today, Premier helps hundreds of customers each day because we built a team of highly trained, qualified technicians ready to address AC, indoor air quality, and commercial services. If your AC does need to be replaced, breathe easy with perfectly timed saving on a new AC system. Free estimates at up to $2,000 in rebates, so you'll beat the heat in total comfort all summer long. Log on to dublin.premierishere.com. Premier Heating and Air, a locally owned and operated company. Offer ends June 30th, 2023.
Welcome everybody. I'm glad to have with me today Kelly Braxton. We are here. Obviously, you can kind of tell by the surroundings when I'm out at Oconee Fall Line Technical College, one of my favorite places to be. And Kelly, you are the division chair over Allied Health, right?
That's correct. I've been division chair over this department since August of 2019.
Yeah. And the other hat you wear is clinical coordinator.
That is correct. I am the clinical coordinator for respiratory care services, and also coming up on my 10-year anniversary in August of this year.
So tell me about, first of all, division chair. Tell me what you do in that role.
Well, my duties for division chair is to be direct person of contact for my division. So I personally manage all of the allied health programs here, including the pharmacy tech program, the medical assisting phlebotomy program, radiology tech, diagnostic medical sonography, and respiratory care. So like I said, I'm first line contact for this division, and if we have any students that also need additional help in my division, and you know, they need help with their instructors or whatnot, then I am also their line of contact. And so that's just a little bit about what I do.
I'm sure it's just a little bit, but you know. And that's one thing about Oconee Fall Line I try to share with people is you're not by yourself.
That's right.
The instructors, the division chairs and coordinators and all the different, over 100 degrees out here. If you've never heard me talk about it, you know, there's something for everybody.
That is right.
And we'll help you with that. If you don't even know, we can test you and find out what your strengths and weaknesses are. But you're not here alone. If they need tutoring, they need help with financial help. Even the foundation, I know we've had students out here that didn't have gas money to finish the class, and they were so close to finishing. We helped them with gas money. You won't find that at universities and colleges around.
You certainly won't.
Yeah.
You certainly won't.
So it's that personal, from the time you walk in the door. You know, we're here to help at OFTC, and we want you to just, the number is going to be on the screen throughout the show, so call the number, and that's how you get the thing started. And during the year we do some mini masters, which I think is one of the greatest things. I don't know if Dr. Adams thought of it or whoever thought of it. I'm sure she'll take credit for it, but it is a great idea.
Yes, a wonderful opportunity for students to come in if they might have missed the beginning of the semester. We have C-term classes. Well, guess what? You can start in the middle of the semester and still obtain that credit, percentage for whatever course that you need. So whether or not you need to come out the first half of the semester or the end of the semester, we have that flexibility for our students.
Okay, y'all got a grant this year. Back to back. You got a grant last year. I think they about doubled it this year, didn't they? Tell us about that and how did you get it?
So we have recently received a donation from the NBRC They offered the scholarships to any COARC, which is basically the Commission on Accreditation for Respiratory Care programs. So the NBRC is the National Board for Respiratory Care, and they are our credentialing agency. So any student that finishes a respiratory care program in the United States will need to sit for the boards to be able to earn those credentials through the NBRC. So their mission is to help retain our students in our respiratory care programs. And last year they released $5,000 scholarships to be made available to these COARC accredited respiratory care programs. So I went out there and applied to get that $5,000 for our students, and thankfully, and we are blessed to have received those funds for our students, and our students in our program got that funds available to them made last year.
Good.
This year, we were able to apply for the scholarship again. This year they actually doubled it for $10,000, and so again I went out there, applied for that scholarship for our students to have, and I'm pleased to say that we were awarded that $10,000 donation. So our OFTC Foundation is handling that for our students to go out there and apply.
And they get how much money of that?
Well, last year we had 5 students, and so we had 5 students apply. It was equally distributed across the students. So each student received $1,000 from the OFTC Foundation. And so this year we're using the same criteria they would need to apply to receive those funds, and that is based off of course, entrance to our respiratory care program, and also some academic criteria as well.
And the smaller class sizes, I would think, would be more hands-on. We've been listening to the instructor in the next room, and we're going to be talking to some students in a little while, but that's got to be advantageous to the student, isn't it?
It is. Each student feels like they are recognized by the instructor. I'm not sure if any of you have ever been at a larger university where you are just a number to the instructor, and here we are not. I enjoy teaching to smaller classes because I am able to personalize, my lecture to my students in case they are struggling or having issues with a certain concept. It is easier for me to sit down with that one student and offer some assistance to them even outside of class. And with a smaller number of class, it's easier just for me to walk around and make sure I get that concept across to them.
With a smaller class too, I believe, because you got to know your students, your people, employees, whatever kind of business.
Right.
But even if they don't say something's wrong, you can tell something's off with that student, can't you?
Absolutely. It happened this morning. We were reviewing formulas for mechanical ventilation and setting up criteria for initial settings, and we were going through all of the steps to put that patient on the ventilator, and I had some looks of confusion. I said, okay, I see that I have lost a couple of you, so we are going to backtrack. And so, I just enjoy that feedback that I get from them, and I pull them out. I said, okay, tell me, where did we get lost? Yeah. So that I can reel that student back in.
What's the most fun part of your job?
I would definitely say when I see that student in the clinical setting and they have graduated from my program, and I actually see them out there doing what they worked so hard for those last 2 years in the program, and being a part of patient care, and finally be able to say, I am finally here, seeing that student with some of my current students and being a preceptor or a mentor to my current students as a graduate. So I see them on both sides.
Yeah, and I love, of course, being a baby boomer. I'm at the doctor a couple times a week, seems like, and having tests done at the hospital, different things. And I always quiz people, like if they come in to give me a breathing treatment or whatever the deal, because some of mine's pulmonary. But and I love when they tell me Oconee Fall Line.
Yes.
Or when they come ask me, I was having a test done at Fairview, and the girl come in. She said, "Mr. Steele, could I ask you something?" And I already knew what was coming. I've already heard it so many times. "We've got a student from Oconee Fall Line out here. Could they come in and observe?" I said, "Yeah, tell them to come on. You know, I'll help OFTC any way possible." And I urge you to. They're not doing anything. They're not doing the test on you. They will one day, but they need to observe to learn. So the more of us that can let them come in and observe, the better off we're all going to be.
We are blessed to have so many clinical partners that are willing to have our students so that they can come in and get that clinical experience, because they do need that hands-on experience to be able to excel in our program.
Yeah, and I know Don Avery at Fairview is a big supporter of this school of allied nursing, and I'm sure, I'm pretty positive some of the equipment in here was probably donated by
That is
Fairview.
correct. That
I'm going
is
out
correct.
on a limb there.
Yes, it has been. So we love to have donations from our clinical partners as well. You know, as we are a state agency, and so a lot of times our funds, you know, we purchase most of our equipment with those state funds. There are some times where we do need equipment, and our clinical partners are willing to give us that equipment because they have purchased more equipment in their facilities, and they always reach out to us and say, "Hey, we have something that you might need," and we are gracious to get it.
We keep throwing around some terms, and sometimes I get asked questions in the community. "Hey, what was you and Miss Braxton talking about?" Or whoever I'm interviewing. We keep saying the word clinical. We know what that is, but explain to our viewers what we mean by having clinicals.
Sure. So our clinical experience for our respiratory care program entails of the student rotating to different hospitals in our service area, and sometimes even outside of our service area, where they go to these hospital sites and they stay there for maybe 8 to 12 hours at a time, 1 day a week, and they are placed with a clinical preceptor, and they will actually do hands-on patient care that they learned here in our lab. And it is vital to our students to get that clinical experience, because that is based off of our criteria that they need for the respiratory care program. Without that clinical experience, they cannot complete our respiratory care program. And so they are going to need that valuable insight at the bedside. So they participate in hundreds of hours of clinical experience. And we like to give our students a well-rounded clinical rotation, so we will place those students inside of the hospital. Most of the times they are in the acute care facility, so they are in those hospitals like Mr. Deal mentioned, Fairview Park hospitals. We also, because respiratory therapists are employed out of the hospital, we also have opportunities for rehabilitative care. So some of our students will be in outpatient care areas like pulmonary rehab, doing rotations there. And you know, that also gives them the opportunity to see some of the things that they learn about in the textbook.
It is so important. And I'm not sure that I usually don't ask a question I don't know the answer to, but I know with, like, and of course my daughter's in nursing, but she had to pass a state exam. How does it work with respiratory? What do they have to do to get certified, or whatever the word is?
That is correct. With respiratory care, once you complete the program here, usually most of our programs in the United States, you would have to apply for state licensure, and as well as applying to take your National Board for Respiratory Care exam. The exam is a two-part exam, so they would need to pass a therapist multiple choice exam, which is of roughly 160 questions.
Wow.
Yes. And they would need to pass that exam with a what we call high cut score to continue on to take the next part of the exam, which is the clinical simulation exam. So the students would receive multiple clinical simulations to test over, and then once they tested over those simulations and they pass both the therapist multiple choice and clinical sim exam, then they would be credentialed as a RRT, which is a registered respiratory therapist.
Yeah, so important. Respiratory is such a important part of the nursing, they're not nurses I know, but healthcare system.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of people, just like in our VA system, been at war, got exposed to so many things, and even us. My doctor asked me one time, and you'll understand this, I've had pulmonary problems, and he said, what do you do at home? We live out in the country. I said, well, I burn about every week. You know, I have a burn pile. He said, you know what you're burning? I said, yeah, I'm burning this. He said, no, I'm not talking about that. Do you know what you're burning? You're burning. He breaks down, you know, the poison on things, and he's giving me the clinical answer to it. And he said, stop doing that without a mask, James. And so I bought me some N95 masks long before we ever heard of a pandemic.
Great.
So when it hit, I had N95.
You were prepared.
I could have made some good money on the black market or whatever, but I didn't. I needed those N95s to live, I guess. I was one of them that I wore a mask. You know, I thought it was so important. But,
right.
But anyway, we have to be careful for those things. All those things affect your respiratory. You get pneumonia, we need respiratory technicians, respiratory therapists. So I stress to you again, if you're at, I'm going to just say Dr. Agarwal's office or Dr. Rosebrock or one of these, let the students be a part of it. Let them be a part of it and let them learn, because one day they're going to be the one, probably, us baby boomers, and even when you get there, we're going to depend on these people, and we're at the mercy when it comes to that. That's why I've never understood people that's mean to their healthcare worker. I'm wanting their help. You know, I want them to take care of me, so I'm surely not going to be mean with them. But we never know when somebody's in pain what they're going through and why they treat people the way they do. But is that part of the class, is the reason I say that, to help them deal with the patient?
We do. We teach things where there will be times that they may encounter a difficult patient. And I always tell my students, listen, it may not be you. Mm-hmm. You have to put yourself in the shoes of that patient. They just found out they had some type of disease. They might have been sleep deprived because everyone is coming in, getting vital signs, taking blood. They may be angry because they're not able to eat. Yeah. And so I tell my students not to take any of that personal. Try to be as empathetic as you can be to that patient, because at the end of the day, that is what you took as an oath in our respiratory care and allied health field, is to put the patient first. Mm-hmm. And think of that as it could be you, it could be your mother. And just to kind of piggyback off of what you said as well, Mr. Dill, yes, we do need more respiratory therapists. The U.S. Labor and Statistics had recently released that our jobs are expected to increase by 13% by the year 2032 because of the increasing age of our population. Yeah. We're going to unfortunately have our aging population facing respiratory illnesses. So we need respiratory therapists to care for those patients. And so there is going to be an increasing demand for our field because of that.
We're going to take a quick break and we'll come back right after this.
Since 1916, Gravely has been designed, engineered, and made right here in the USA. Whether you prefer gas or electric, every Gravely has been forged with the commercial landscaper in mind. So they're not only built to last, but to also keep you riding comfortably from dawn to dusk. So ask yourself, are you ready to graduate to a Gravely? Visit your local Gravely dealer today.
Hey, I'm TJ with Dublin Outdoors and Power Sports, formerly known as Myers Equipment Supply. We're your full-line dealer for Gravely lawnmower sales and service.
I think the future for Oconee Fall Line Technical College is bright. We have a 99.9% placement rate at OFTC. That means the students who come in our doors are going to get a job, and we're very proud of that. We're always looking at anything that can prepare our students and our graduates to meet the needs of the workforce. Things are changing all over the world, and we want to make sure that our students are globally competitive. We want to empower our students and give them a thriving learning experience so that they can soar to new heights.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm continuing my conversation with Miss Kelly Braxton. She is with Oconee Fall Line Technical College. If you're just joining us, we're going to air this program again, or you can go to our YouTube channel at TV35. Just type it in the search bar there, and it'll pull them up, and you can just go right down to this video and watch it in its entirety. And you need to watch it because there may be something that could change your life. Literally, you may be, you could be 50 years old, and we call you a non-traditional student. You may have lost your job, you may have run out, a number of things. You may have worked in the home your whole life, and you need to go back to school. We have a lot of that out here at Oconee Fall Line, so you're never too old. I go to church, Miss Braxton, with a lady who, she's 87 years old. And Sunday, she got on to one of the ladies in our Sunday school class because she's retiring at like 63, 62 or 63. She said, "Why are you retiring?" And Miss Shirley's 87. She still works. She teaches special needs kids out at West Lawrence. And she came to Oconee Fall Line and did her parapro course, or I don't know how long it lasted, but she did it at Oconee Fall Line. She's one of our success stories, and still working at 87. And she does it because those kids, and I saw some of it on you a while ago when I asked you about what was most fun about your job, and you immediately lit up because you can see those kids. I know they're kids to me, but when the light comes on,
Right.
it's so rewarding, isn't
Right.
it? And I could tell by your answer.
It is. It really is. And I always tell them, I said, it is so good to see you in this light. And they always text me too and show me pictures of what they're doing and keep me updated. So it's so good to, actually be a viable part of our community and giving back.
Well, it's in your DNA, I can tell, that you want people to be successful.
That's
And you
right.
want these students to be more than successful. And I see that with OFTC students that I see in the clinical setting and doing their job is they always exceed my expectations. Yeah, you can do your job, but when you exceed that patient, their expectations, and you leave them, you walk away from it thinking, man, I want to get them every time, because that's what is taught out here. It's a holistic approach, isn't it?
It is. And, once they cross over from being a student to a graduate and actually being a part of an organization, we always talk about quality patient care. And that comes down to, as well, when you're taking care of your patients, just make sure you always keep them front and center of your day, and that is what you were there for. And if you truly have that passion, then you will love your job as a respiratory therapist. And it is also so rewarding to see your patient as well when they see you at the start of your day or in the middle of your day, and they're so happy to see you, and they know your name, and they're so glad that you're taking care of them. And they say, you know what, I remember you the last time I was here, you know, and that's also rewarding.
Yeah. You said the word love, and listening to you throughout the interview, I see these students, and we're going to meet two of them in a little while, but they really need to love what they do.
That's right. That's right.
It carries over into the job, doesn't it?
It does. You know, we have a lot of people entering the healthcare field because, one, everyone knows there's always a job opportunity, and that's great. You know, there is job security there, but what we need are people that love what they do, putting the patient first, true patient care clinicians.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, before we introduce the students, let's stay on the recruitment side, because there's somebody watching us right now that's saying, I kind of like what they're saying there. Well, let's go for the close here and tell that person that's watching. I hear this a lot in the community when they hear me out here, is that, you know, I'll have people say to me most often is, oh my gosh, I'm 55, James, and I'm scared. There's nothing to be scared of, because you're going to literally take their hand and walk them through the system. And you've already hit on a lot of it here, you know, being proactive in the classrooms. You're bringing them out. The one student you brought outside the door and said, hey, what's going on now? Let me help you. And that's the attitude, not just from you, but from throughout this campus here. That's what goes on out here. So talk to those students. They may be 18, they may be 58. Talk to that person.
Yes, it is never too late. We have what Mr. Deal has also referred to as non-traditional students. And so that non-traditional student is particularly a student who has graduated from high school many years ago, that has now thought about a chance at maybe changing their career choice in life, and we get a lot of that in respiratory care. We also get a lot of that in our other allied health programs. And so these individuals do actually well in our programs. I find that they are a little bit more focused. And I guess that comes with age and
Yes.
just also knowing that, you know, this is your second career choice. You're really gung-ho about it. And not to mention now you have a family that you're you know, going to eventually need to support within the next year or so. So it is never too late to start that next career option. We have free tutoring services available in our allied health department. So even if you are struggling with any type of concept, there is not one instructor out here that I know will allow you not to prevail in your courses. So.
Yeah. And, you know, I see this often. I'm going to be out here for graduation next week, I think. Is
Next
it next
Thursday.
week? Okay. Next Thursday when we're taping this. We're taping it on the Thursday before graduation next week. But, you know, I've seen so many times, Ms. Braxton, where students have come across the stage and get their GED diploma, where they had to drop out of school for whatever reason. And then a few years later, I'm sitting there at graduation. I'll see it next Thursday night. And they'll be walking across and got their criminal justice degree or their RN, LPN, whatever it might be. And the reason I say that, if you didn't finish school and you're saying to yourself, well, I didn't even finish high school, I had to quit and work, or whatever the reason. But don't let that stop you, because you can come out here to our adult education department and listen to this. You're going to love this part. It's free.
That's right.
It's absolutely free.
Absolutely free.
And you know, I know that word turns a lot of people on, so don't let that hang you up. You can call the college. We've kind of been putting the number up and down. Ask for Demi McManus. If you see Martin Brock running around the neighborhood, which you often see, these people have a vested interest in you succeeding.
Yes.
Get that out of the way, and then you can come and be a part of the respiratory program or one of the 100 or so degrees we have out here, can't they?
That's true. That's true. We would love to have you. And what better time to start than now?
Yep. Now, you know, don't wait. Don't wait. Just do it now. But a lot of you see that Nike commercial. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Just, you know, just go for it.
Yes.
Okay, we've got 2 students going to be coming up right after the next break. We'll have one and then one. But talk about those students. Introduce them for me.
Okay, so you will be seeing after the break Miss Mahaley Akins and Mr. Tamoy Ellis. They are wonderful students. These students are also participants of our Student Government Association, so they participate in monthly meetings. They meet with our student life coordinators, and they are there to help get some improvements going on our student life and talk about what we can do to improve the community out here for our students. So they are exceptional students, really, really goal-oriented. One of them wants to work in pediatric care, and the other wants to work in emergency room critical care.
Wow.
Yes.
That's
So,
good. Fast
yeah,
paced.
It is fast-paced. I can tell you that with our profession, there's never a dull moment.
Yeah.
You know, and there are so many opportunities. As I said, you know, you have one that wants to work with babies in pediatrics. You have one that wants to work in critical care. We have diagnostics where you could enter a field and, you know, do testing 4 or 5 days a week in a lab. And like I said, you can work with medical supply companies even and go that career route. So lots of opportunities.
The sky's the limit.
That's
It's
right.
not just that one thing, helping people with oxygen or whatever it might be. The field is wide open. And you said it a while ago, if you missed it, I want to repeat it, but you got a job. You've got from now to God calls you home, you got a job in the healthcare field. And you do a good job. I know so many people, friends of mine, that have just moved right on up the ladder, whether it be VA or Fairview. And I want to end with this before we switch over to these other students. But he's taken a job at a larger hospital. But we had a gentleman that ran the radiology department at Fairview. He's a student. He was a student here. It was Heart of Georgia at the time, but it's the same school. He ended up going to work at Fairview, worked his way up, and ran the entire radiology department. And now he's taken even a better job. If that wasn't good enough, he's taken a better job, and he's at a very large hospital this time.
Yeah,
So start here. Start with that GED. Start somewhere. But the main thing, start at Oconee Fall Line. We've got something for everybody. And like I said earlier, we're going to help you with it. So we're going to take another break, and we're going to bring these students in one at a time and talk to them and get their take on things and see what they think about Miss Braxton. So
They love me, of course.
We're going to put her in another room. Oh, I'm sure they do. So thank you so much for
All right,
talking to me
thank you
today.
for having me.
Absolutely. Y'all stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
The weather's heating up here in Middle Georgia, and the deals are hot at Dublin Nissan. So when you come in, look for the red tag specials like this Nissan Altima or the new restyled 2024 Frontier. So come into Dublin Nissan during our red tag sale and take advantage of 0% financing or up to $10,000 savings off of MSRP.
At Dublin Nissan, get rates as low as 0% for 36 months on the Pathfinder.
And remember, Don sells Nissans well, only at Dublin Nissan.
We invite y'all to come down to Holy Smokes Barbecue, Dublin's fresh everyday barbecue source. 1100 Hillcrest Parkway, 272 Ribs. You can place your orders online, dublinbbq.com. We're all about faith, family, and friends. And remember, life's too short to eat bad barbecue. We're so thankful for you, Dublin. You guys have been so good to us, and we just want to invite you guys just to come on and experience what we think good barbecue is.
Welcome back, everybody. I have with me now Mahaley Akins and Miss Braxton. Give you a fine introduction before the break, so I can't do any better than that, so I'm not going to get on into it. Tell us where you're from.
I am from Alamo, Georgia.
Okay.
It's a pretty small town.
Yeah, I know exactly where Alamo is. You can't get there from here, can you? How far do you drive in?
It's about roughly 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah, and y'all, there is literally a campus or satellite campus from Oconee Fall Line. If you're in a 10 or 15 county place, you can go to Oconee Fall Line, even if, 30, 40 minutes to get the degree you're trying to get and going to get. That's a small price to pay, isn't it?
It is, but I don't mind it.
What made you pick Oconee Fall Line?
I actually have always been a student at Oconee Fall Line. I did dual enrollment when I was in high school.
Wow.
So I already knew I wanted to go to Oconee because of the opportunities that it offered and how fast I could finish my degree.
If you heard her say dual enrollment, I want you to understand in high school, 11th and 12th grade, you can dual enroll at Oconee Fall Line and other colleges too, but and the good part about it is free. The state pays for it. So you graduate, a lot of times you could have an associate's degree when you graduate, or you have a CNA degree.
That's what I got.
So see there, I know a lot of men and women that get their CNA, and then you're one step closer to wherever you want to go, respiratory, LPN, RN, whatever. So, but that's great. Dual enrollment is just a wonderful tool. And it being free, you don't have to worry, but you get all your core credits out of the way. So you did dual enrollment at Oconee Fall Line, and obviously you fell in love with them when you were here, wasn't you?
That's right. I loved my instructors, the ones that I had.
Tell me, Haley, talk to somebody. This is your camera right here, and there's people that may be non-traditional students. They may have lost their job or at a dead-end job. I want you to talk to that person in that camera and give them some encouragement.
Oconee Fall Line has a lot of resources available for students that don't have the financial needs that they need to be able to go to college. It's affordable here. There's online options, there's degree options, diploma options. You don't have to fully go for a degree. You can get a diploma, and a lot of times they have a lot of courses that are maybe 8 weeks long that you can take to get the degree, the diploma, and then advance into a degree, which can help you get started. And they have a lot of resources available for people that aren't financially stable or able enough to afford to go to school.
So why did you pick respiratory?
I chose respiratory because I like to know a lot about a few things, and I also wanted to feel important. So when I did my CNA, I knew I wanted to be in the medical field somewhere, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do yet. So I worked as a CNA for a little while, and then as a med tech, giving out medications, and I got to experience the nursing side aspect, and I was like, I don't think this is what I want to do. So I did a little more research, and I found out about respiratory, and I was like, oh, they're very important, and they work alongside with nurses, doctors, I mean, everyone. So I said, I think that's what I want to do. I want to feel important.
Yep. And you should. What you put into it, and I understand from a confidential source that you're a really good student.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, don't thank me. I was just told that. I'm not going to share it. You know, in the TV business, you got to have those confidential sources. But and you did so good that you got this money, this grant that we got, Oconee Fall Line. So you picked up, I think, about $1,000, didn't you?
I did.
Tell us about that. Well, they told you about it. What did you think?
I thought it was amazing, and also the people that awarded us the scholarship money, we have been to some meetings for them, and they've done a lot of amazing things for us in this program, all the students in general, and I was very grateful for it. I just had to type up a little paper for it and apply for it, and I got notification back that I got $1,000.
That's incredible.
It was.
So what did you have to type? Did you have to type a letter why you wanted it, or what was the?
I think, if I recall right, it was about the importance of respiratory therapy, some of the importance of it.
So what is the importance?
I mean, obviously we're responsible for your airway.
Yeah.
So
Breathing's important.
and
isn't
breathing is important.
it? You can live without a foot, but you might not want to, but you got to
That's
breathe.
right.
Everybody needs, and I was just reading recently, we take 100,000 breaths a day, every 24 hours. So 100,000 times we can be thinking a respiratory therapist is,
That's right.
you know, because especially you've been in like I have with pulmonary problems. You love that respiratory therapist, I'm telling you. And I told Ms. Braxton, I always feel at ease because I ask people where they went to school. And when they tell me Oconee Fall Line, no matter what it is, I know they were trained by the best school anywhere around. So you must take comfort from that.
I do. At Oconee, here, we have a lot of hands-on. And it's because it's a smaller school. So, yeah, at these other universities, you're in a class with so many students that not everybody gets to get their hands on everything. And when they go to the clinical sites, you see them in groups together with one preceptor, and they have to take turns doing little skills that they've learned. Whereas us, we come in here in this lab and we're free range to do whatever we want, and we have an instructor to help us one-on-one, and we have each other. And then when we go to our clinical sites, a lot of the times we have a lot of big facilities that we go to, and some of us, there might be 2 of us at the facility, but the facility is so big and there's so many preceptors for us that we're able to explore all of our skills. We're not limited to anything on hands-on, which makes me more confident. So when I graduate and I go out into the workforce, I know the things that I learned about in school, book-wise, I can do them clinically.
Yeah. So where have you done some clinicals?
I have done clinicals at Atrium or Navicent, and I've done them in Houston. I've done them at Piedmont, Fairview, Meadows.
Wow.
And Hawkinsville and Dodge.
My goodness, you've been on the go, haven't you?
That's right.
And see, that's the thing about Oconee Fall Line. They're not just sending you to one place. They're exposing you to the different way. Different hospitals do different things, but your job is still the basics of whatever particular thing you're doing at the hospital, the clinical. But so that's got to only be good for you to go to that many. I was not expecting that many places that you've done clinical. I'm thinking you were going to tell me 2 at the most, but that's incredible, isn't it?
It is.
Does that give you confidence?
It does, because I'm exposed to so much.
And I was talking to Ms. Braxton about, you know, sometimes you have a bad patient, and you've pretty well been exposed to a lot of things at those hospitals. The skills that you get here, does that help you be able to deal? Because we don't ever know what somebody's going through. We just don't know. They may be in a life or death situation. You know, they may have just been physically abused or something. So we just don't know till we walk in their shoes. But so your degree that you get here, is that helping you in that area?
Yes, sir. We actually went to, we had like a little clinical day. We went to Middle Georgia. We paired up with them, and we talked about ethics and ethical decisions and how to deal with death, because with our job, you're going to deal with a lot of death.
Yeah.
So there's resources available for how to deal with those things, because not everyone's exposed to all of that. And I feel like, for me personally, here at school, we're taught about ethical decision making, you know, death and everything, but also I already have some predisposing experience with the elderly population and, you know, long-term care. So I've dealt with death before, so I'm already a little experienced with that. But that seminar that we went to, it helped out a lot, and they gave us a lot of resources.
Yeah. You have met a lot of people at those hospitals, but I want to focus in from there is the class that you're in here. I think there's 5 of y'all.
That's right.
In the class that we're observing today. So can you see yourself with some of them being friends for life?
Oh yeah. My best friend actually is in the program with me.
Wow.
We graduated high school together. We did the CNA program here at Oconee together, and now we're in respiratory together. So
Wow, is that called BFF?
that's right. Best friends for life. We're more like sisters. And my other classmates, we're pretty close. So we have a group chat that we talk in. We keep each other lifted up and encouraged and motivated. Because if you're not, the program can be stressful, and it's not the people, and it's not necessarily the material, because it's not that bad if you study.
Yeah.
It's just the time crunch of it all, because we're in an accelerated program.
Right.
And it's a lot of new stuff that you don't know anything about. So it's a lot of things being thrown at you at one time, but the further you get into the program, it all starts to click and make sense.
Well, and you're dealing with people's lives.
That's
That's why it's stressful. They do that for a reason. You may not know that's what you're learning at the time, but you working in the emergency room or wherever it might be, you're going to be in a fast-paced career. And no matter what you do, it could be life or death. And you have to make those instantaneous decisions. So by nature of what you just told me, you're going to be really good at whatever you do. So, and y'all, all I had to do was get out of the way. I don't even know why I'm up here. So you didn't need me up here at all. I don't think I said this, but most of the time we solicit people to be on these shows with us, but both of y'all volunteered, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Wow, that says a lot about the class. But so you're gonna have friends for life here, and y'all prop each other up. It's kind of like listening to you a minute ago. Is all for one and one for all. You all want to make it together.
And our teachers, our instructors, they want us to succeed too.
Yeah.
They'll stay late with us if we need help, and we have their personal cell numbers just in case something, comes up and we need help, they're available to us.
Yep. And y'all, you got to realize this is from her heart. This is not pre-planned. She didn't even know the questions I was going to ask. Miss Braxton asked me earlier, you going to give me the question? I said, no, I don't like that. I like to, because you want people to see the real you. So y'all are seeing the real her because, like I said, this is not a pre-planned event where she knew what to say or not to say. At least y'all don't have to see the edits of me messing up. Recently somebody told me, they said, James, you never mess up on TV. Well, you know I do. But y'all never see that because our fine editors edit all that out. So trust me, I mess up about every show, sometimes 3 or 4 or 5 times. So, but thank God for editing. So, and I've messed up a few times on this show, but y'all didn't see it, did you? So if I hadn't confessed that, you'd never known it. But that's what TV is. So, well, let me ask this before we close and go to the next guest, but you're in student government. Why that?
Student government, what do you mean?
You're a student government association. Aren't you in that club? Or?
Oh, yes, sir. I didn't think about what you were asking. I enjoy it. I enjoy
Does
it.
that help? Does that give you like a kind of a, I mentioned holistic to a little while ago, but it makes you well-rounded, don't it?
I'm a very empathetic person, and also I feel like I like to make a difference.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm very, to some people, I'm very loud.
Yeah.
My personality is very out there. But I like to be known and make a difference.
And that's good. You're in the right field. You know what you want, and you go for it. By nature of dual enrollment, you got your friend. Y'all went through school together. Y'all in this together. Y'all are definitely going to be BFFs. And that don't even sound right for me saying it. Some 64-year-old man. I had to ask what all those letters. My grandkids have to teach me that. So, but I think it's great, and to meet new friends once you get here, and then these instructors that you'll be friends with them for life, and you'll be wanting to stay up with them and tell them, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I'll guarantee you, and this is different about Oconee Fall Line, when you get in at work, and you're in your field, even then if you have a question, you know you'd have the confidence to call one of these instructors.
Oh,
wouldn't you?
yeah. We can come back up here after we finish school, and they help you with if you want any extra credentials to add on with your degree, they'll help you here get signed up for that and help you get that. And also, you know, anything else that you need help with, all you got to do is call them or show up.
Okay, I've heard Miss Braxton's side. I want to hear it from you. Tell us about our next guest coming up after the break.
Tamoy.
Yeah.
He's a gentleman.
Okay.
He's very nice.
Is that all you're going to say?
That he's very nice.
Yeah.
He's pretty smart too, and I don't mean pretty smart. He is very smart. He's very bright. He's very bright, and he's very tedious, you know, with his studies, and he's always on point and always willing to help somebody else. He's always willing to help anybody.
That's good. Sounds like y'all are two peas in a pod, huh? You're a country girl, you know what that is, don't you?
I am.
Yeah. Well, that makes us a good match, country boy to country girl. So, especially being from Alamo. Well, good. I'm excited about talking to him, and thank you so much. You're going to go far in this field. I can just see you growing and growing, and you know I'm part of the baby boomers. So one day when you come in my room to take care of me, now don't treat me bad just because I treated you bad on this show. Huh?
You didn't treat me bad.
I'm kidding. Well, I appreciate it. You did very well.
Thank
you. So, can't you tell what Oconee Fall Line's doing here when you see bright students like this that come in and they're going to be taking care of all of us. And I have full confidence when they graduate from Oconee Fall Line. Y'all stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, I'm Tom Dominy. Here at Dublin Wind Nelson, we pride ourselves on providing the industry's highest quality products at the most competitive pricing. We are a full-service wholesaler specializing in plumbing, irrigation, and industrial products. With a staff that collectively offers more than 50 years of expertise, our team knows your industry, and we can answer your questions and help you get the parts and equipment you need. From mowing to Renee, we carry the plumbing, irrigation, and industrial products you need from the brands you trust. We also carry a great lineup of Milwaukee tools. At Dublin Wind Nelson, our goal is the long-term success of your business. We achieve that goal with a simple commitment, doing things right, one customer at a time. If you have a question, or if you're looking for a hard-to-find part, give us a call. Our experts are ready to help. Order online, give us a call, or come by at 507 Airport Road in Dublin. We're committed to building long-term relationships with our customers by earning your business every day.
I'm Heath Richter, and we just want to invite everybody to come on down to the Houston Clinic and check us out at our new facility. We've been in Dublin for a while now, obviously, but have a new office here, and we'd just like you to come down and see some of the new stuff we're offering. And if you need to get checked out, we'd be glad to do that for you. We've got able to do some ultrasound guided injections now, and physical therapy, and just a little bit better space. So hopefully we can get you in and out of here a little bit quicker.
Come by and see us today at our brand new location, the Houston Clinic, Medical Drive in Dublin.
Welcome back, everybody. Now I have Tamoy Ellis, and you didn't hear us talking about you a while ago, but your classmate give you a fine introduction.
Okay.
She said you were nice, you were bright, really smart, you were a team player. You want me to go any further? Has your head got big yet?
Okay.
And she said all those. So what's it like with the five of y'all in this respiratory course as far as the camaraderie?
Oh, the camaraderie, that's what's keeping us going since we've met last year, August. We are all from different backgrounds. Some of us are international, myself.
Yeah.
Some persons are local to Georgia, and everyone brings something different to the table here. Everyone's smart. That's what I'm really impressed with. Everyone's at the super high level.
Yeah.
We keep each other on our toes. It's a competition to actually answer questions at times.
Yeah.
Some of us are more quiet than some are. I tend to be a little bit quiet sometimes.
That's hard to believe now. You say international. He's from Jamaica. And, I was in Fairview a few years ago, and the nurse came in to take care of me. She was from Jamaica.
Okay.
So it seems like a lot of people from the Caribbean islands, they end up in the United States, and I would think you know, we have wide open, you know, you can be as good as you want to be. So what made you pick Oconee Fall Line?
Okay, what made me pick Oconee Fall Line? First thing, I needed a school that was accredited. So we're accredited, we're a technical college, we're under the technical college system, and we're accredited there. But particularly why I chose the respiratory therapy program here is because of the Cork accreditation. So during my research, I learned that Cork, they're the organization that accredit respiratory care education. So we're accredited here at Oconee Fall Line. It was our anniversary last year. They came here and they looked at the program, they looked at the students, they looked at our lab and classroom, and they gave us a green light again for, I believe, another 10 years. So we're now accredited. So that's one of the main reasons why I chose here. Because when doing healthcare, the degree and the school matters, but what matters a lot afterwards is getting your board's exam.
Oh, yeah.
So for respiratory, that would be the NBRC. So they're the National Board of Respiratory Care, and they're the one that you're gonna face after you get that degree.
Don't matter about what you do at school if you can't get to an accredited place and move on up the ladder. So did y'all hear what he said? Now, you did your research. And you ended up at Oconee Fall Line. That says a lot about you, first of all. You did your due diligence, and you wanted to pick a good school. Had to be accredited, but it had to be more than that. Has it lived up to your expectations?
It has exceeded my expectation. One thing I'm impressed with Oconee Fall Line is the partnership with the community. So I'm new to Dublin because I came here because my family came here. My wife, she's a registered nurse.
Okay.
She works at Fairview, so that's why I came here with her.
Good.
And I wanted to enter the healthcare field as well. Respiratory is very specialized. We're specialized in mostly cardiopulmonary treatments, so treating different diseases of the respiratory system as well. So seeing that we're doing all of those treatments, you'd think that coming to college here, I'll be just meeting college students. I've met police officers through the SJ club that I go to on a monthly basis. I've met different persons from different high schools, different colleges. We have had outreach as well with different hospitals. We have been to the Children's Hospital of Atlanta, and we've been there twice, and we have had persons come here to us, both past graduates as well.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a community effort here, and I've learned so much based on that.
What do you want to do? Respiratory is wide open. So where do you want to focus at?
Okay, well, we have different specialties. For now, I'm enjoying the emergency center.
Good.
It's fast-paced, it's unpredictable, but once you got a good foundation, which I think I'm getting here, you're able to handle almost anything, especially when you're working with a good dynamic team. Yes.
A lot of stress in the emergency room.
It's a lot of stress, but this program, they teach you here to be independent. So each of us, I don't know if you get to look at a ventilator, but each of us have been getting one-on-one time with ventilators. So it's a small class. We've been getting one-on-one time with the teachers. If you need extra help, they're here to help you. They'll reach out to you. When I was doing my prerequisites to get in the program, they had different study sessions. So they always provide resources to help you. So no matter which level you are, they'll help you. So.
Well, to someone who's been on a ventilator, I want somebody that knows how to do that, because that is, it can be the difference in life and death.
Exactly.
And you're getting that training, you're getting that one-on-one, you're getting tutoring if you need it. And it's, I think y'all have, y'all work together with each other. I'm trying to think of the terminology, but like after class, y'all can chat together or compare notes or ask questions, or I'm stuck on this one, you know, what can I do? So how helpful is that?
Okay, that's really helpful. So we'll do that amongst each other as students. We have a group chat. So we'll be asking all hours in the group chat. We got a group chat with the 5 of us. If I'm stuck on a question, I'll post in there. If someone else is stuck, they'll post. I'll answer as soon as I see it. Even if I'm here, if I'm on the road, if I'm home, I'll be answering group messages.
Yeah, so important to lift each other up. And I said this a while ago, but it's kind of like it's all for one for all. And you all want to rise together. And by helping each other, I think it's teaching you lessons that probably right now you don't even realize some of them till you get in the workplace, because you got to be a team player.
Exactly.
And you're learning that team concept here, aren't you?
Yes. So working as a team, that's the best part about being here. My friend Jared, he's the other guy in the class. I'm glad to have another guy here I can relate to more. And we work as a team entirely as a class. As I said, some of us are stronger in certain areas, but at the end of the day, we're all held to the same standard, no matter who you are, and we all bring each other up. So if I'm the better at the ventilators, I'll help the person that's better at airway care, trach care. Those are just different competencies which we have to pass and before we start clinicals. And we're right now in our 3rd semester. So we're starting critical care, and we're going into the NICU as well and the PICU. So it's a good program. It's stretched out perfectly right now, and it's challenging. I won't tell anyone that it's not challenging, but the resources are provided, and it has to be challenging because going into the hospital, seeing real patients, they really do depend on healthcare workers, especially respiratory therapists. So I'm taking this really serious. I'm doing my best, I'm putting in my all, and I'm going to make use of all the resources that the colleges provide.
What kind of grade would you give your instructors?
My instructor?
Pretend like Miss Braxton's not behind the camera. Just whisper it to me.
Oh, well, I don't have to pretend. In front of her and behind her, I have to thank my instructors. I have to thank Miss Braxton, who has been here from the start of my journey. She was my advisor before I even got into the program. And even getting into the program, you need advice. Because passing the prerequisites for a science-based program, it's filled with maths, it's filled with chemistry, psychology, microbiology, anatomy and physiology, and even English courses. And just to get in, sometimes the algebra can be a barrier for a lot of persons. It was kind of a barrier for me. So I had to really buckle down to pass that algebra, and having an advisor behind you, even before you got into the program, was very essential for me. I don't know about anyone else, but that had helped me as well.
How old are you?
Oh, I'm in my 30s right now.
30?
Yes, I'm 33.
Yeah, I would have never guessed that. But I asked for a reason, because there's a lot of people watching. This camera is your camera right here, but I want you to talk to those people that are in their 30s.
Okay.
And they maybe be at a dead-end job, they may have lost their job.
Okay.
But talk to them and encourage them on coming to Oconee Fall. Maybe not in respiratory, but we've got over 100 fields out here that you can get into and get diplomas or degrees, whatever it might be. But talk to that person.
Well, what I have to say is that I've been in Dublin for like 3 years now. And what I can tell you is that Oconee Fall Line graduates, technical college graduates, they're the workforce. So what I like about here, if you go on our website, you'll see that we offer an Associate of Applied Science. And when I first saw Applied Science, I wondered what's the difference between Applied Science and just a regular Associate of Science. The Applied Science signifies that you're being prepared for the work field. So if you're doing something in respiratory, you're going to have hands-on experience. You're going to have clinical experience with real patients. You're going to first have lab experience. So you'll be trained at the school, and then you'll be, of course, supervised in the workplace. So whether it's respiratory, whether it's nursing, whether it's welding, I even see those trucks. And I'm proud when I see those trucks with the OFTC on the side. And they're all over. I've seen those even in Sandersville on the highway. And they're keeping their lane, they're driving straight. And I'm thinking, that's a student. And that's a student of the college.
And you don't just get out of the way either, do you? You know they're well trained.
They always look well trained. So this technical colleges, Oconee Fall Line in particular, they're preparing you for the workforce. This program is preparing me to pass the boards. I believe the other programs, they're preparing you to pass whatever boards you need to pass and get a job. Yeah. And when employers see Associate of Applied Science, when they see OFTC, they seem excited. I've been to Fairview Park Hospital right here in Dublin. I've been to Piedmont, I've been to Atrium Navicent in Macon, I've even been to Houston. I've been all over in Georgia so far. And when they see that OFTC, even though it's an Associate of Applied Science, the employers seem really excited for a graduate with an associate. And so far, it's taken me about 2+ years. There are diploma programs here, and I was introduced to the nursing program as an option as well. I wanted to do something a little more specialized, so I chose respiratory. But all of those seem like good programs. I've been out there in the field. I've seen nurses from here working. Yeah. I've seen respiratory therapists from here working. Truck drivers. I've met a mechanic once, and he said he went here. Yeah. And they were all nice to me. They'll be, some person will even say, oh, yeah, I'll give you a discount.
Well, it's a common bond. Yeah, no matter what field, whether it's a diesel mechanic or truck driver. And I'm glad you mentioned truck driving. I recently went on the new track, and the driver took me. We went out on the interstate and drove, and I've had several people mention that to me, how steady the camera was. I said, well, that was the driving. That wasn't me, but I'm telling you. You don't have to go into respiratory. You don't have to go into allied nursing, but you can go for 3 or 4 months and get your truck driving degree. You graduate with a job. And see, that's the thing about allied health or whatever it might be. People that graduate from OFTC, the instructors have already been lining up a place for them to go to work. You don't get that at a major university. They don't really care. Now, I'm sure they educate you good, but whether you get a job or not, it doesn't matter. But OFTC, these instructors, they have a vested interest, and they want you to be employed. And I'd say 99%. I've never talked to a graduate of OFTC that didn't have a job lined up already. So, and I'm sure any of y'all will, because especially allied health, it's wide open. Yes. Just like you're going to go in the emergency room, the next person may work for a private agency. There's, you can find your niche. Last thing, so does your wife help you any with your studying?
Excuse me? Oh, my wife?
Yeah.
At the beginning, I thought she honestly was going to be more help, but I've been
You hear that?
What happened is that respiratory, there's some things that cross over, but as I said, we're specialized. We're specialized in the respiratory system, and we go a little further in the respiratory system than nurses. So that's why we're an integral part of the healthcare system. So the ABGs, ventilators, setting, those are like hieroglyphics. Yeah. It's a different language.
So what you're telling me, I'm reading between the lines here, your job's going to be much harder than her job. Is that what you're saying? Say, quit putting words in my mouth. You've already said, it's more specialized, isn't it? You can help her instead of her helping you, huh?
Well, it's targeted, and that's what I like about respiratory therapy. It's rounded, because we're doing right now, I'll understand what different electrolytes are, so I know what a good blood sugar range is, but at the same time, there are certain ranges that I have to know, is it a critical range, is it a normal range? I have to be able to look at someone from I walk in a room and just look at their breathing, look at their skin color. I have to be able to know all of those to do my assessment as a therapist, and also relate that to the nurse and to the doctors. So when I go to the hospital, I'm proud to see other nurses. I've seen nurses at Fairview Park, and they got that same emblem. So I know them for here. I know the OFT, that's right. They're doing their training. I've seen the radiology technology students as well in their blue at Fairview. And they're pushing that machine around. Yeah. And we all work together. Because when they take a chest x-ray, I have to help interpret that. I have to also rely on them to take a good film, so I can have something to interpret. So it's a teamwork. So I wouldn't say anyone works harder than anyone, but everyone has their role to play in the team.
So based on your criteria there that you've learned, go ahead and give me an assessment before we go, based on skin tone, my breathing, And I'm not going to tell you the kind of problems I have. Go ahead and assess me.
Okay, well, first thing, you have authorized me. So that's the first thing. So I've got your authorization to go ahead.
That's right.
So you're sitting up straight. Of the conversation earlier, I noticed that you're keeping your head kind of straight. So your posture, you have a good posture, and your respiratory rate seems to be in normal range. You're not having any increased work of breathing. You're not using any accessory muscle, meaning that you're not using you're using the diaphragm, but you're not using the intercostal muscles. You're not using any neck muscles.
Right.
There's no distended jugular veins. And your face looks nice and flush. There's no cyanosis. You're not blue. You're not ashy or gray.
Thank you, man. Good.
So
I ain't even got to go to the doctor this afternoon. Here, let me call and cancel that doctor's appointment.
I'm still a student. I'm still a student.
But and the reason I asked you that wasn't necessarily to put you on the money there, but this shows you the training they get, things they can look for. You can be in the line in Kroger, and you know, my daughter's been a nurse for years, and she'll tell me sometimes, said, Daddy, that man's going to have a heart attack right there, just based on those things that you mentioned. So nurses and healthcare people, people don't realize that y'all are trained at those kind of things. So yeah, that was great assessment there. You dead on too. So I am going to cancel that doctor's appointment. I'm going to make sure I email your wife a copy of this too, to let her know exactly how good you're doing. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. You mentioned you was in Student Government Association. Yeah. Tell me before we go, how has that helped you?
Oh, that has helped me as well tremendously, because moving here, I've met friends. I've had friends here from the school, and the Student Government Organization, what does that help me a lot with is the community outreach. So each time there's a different guest. We have had persons from the Dublin Police, we have had detectives, we've had, I think, persons from the fire department, we have different persons, wings associations. So we have had persons from a different variety of different outreaches within Lawrence County. And that I've met them, I've seen them out there in Dublin, in Lawrence County, and that helps me to feel like part of the community. And that's just a part of being here at OFTC. Yeah. We're not closed in. We're part of the community. Persons are allowed to come here. Even the library, I believe, it's open to the public. So
that's right.
Yes.
Well, we're so glad you came, and you're part of our community, and I hope you have great success, and I'm sure you will. And I look forward one day when you walk in the room, and my assessment might not be that good that day, but I will always feel comfortable, as I have with anytime an OFTC graduate comes in. I always know they're the best trained around, as you will be when you graduate. You're long on your way. So thank you so much for talking to me today.
Thank you.
And if you're just joining us with this show, you can pick it up on YouTube. Just go to the search bar and type in TV35, or we'll be airing it again. So check it out, and look, if you are one of those people that we've been talking to and you're at that dead-end job, or the plant closed, or whatever it might be, you want to advance. It don't matter if you're 33 or 53 or 83. You can still grow, and you can keep learning. So come out and give Oconee Fall Line a chance. So no matter how you're watching us right now on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or on an iPad or iPod like these young people do, we appreciate you tuning in today. Thank you so much.